Welcome back. All right. So while you're chatting, we're chewing. While you're chewing, I want you to look down at that 411. What page is that on? 37. Okay. And I want to talk to you about a 411 and a GPS just for a second. So talk about some powerful tools that you can use every single week in your business, every day in your business, actually. I would imagine, when's the last time you had a GPS or 411 class?
We're literally about to put them on the schedule because when we met with the ALC, that's what we decided we needed.
Cool. All right, so this class is coming up very soon.
Very soon.
I highly recommend you attend. Here's what happens. I think a lot of times what we do in business, and this is true I think of every part of our life, is we're not really sure of the path. We don't really understand like what's step 1, 2, 3, and 4. In fact, when new agents come to us, team leaders and the staff at the office, that's always what they ask for. Like, what do I need to do first? What do I need to do second, right? And whether you're new or you've been in the business for 10 years or 20 years, you still need that clarity. Think of it like this. I love that they named it a GPS. Yes, so who knows what it stands for? G and the P and the S, not you guys.
Global position.
Okay, that's correct, yeah, for that. But in regards to Keller Williams, we have an acronym for it. It means something else. Who knows? I know you. Yes, sir.
Goal.
Come on, you got this.
Priorities and strategy.
Yes, perfect. So one goal, right? 3 priorities, 5 strategies. That's why it's called a 1, 3, 5 as well. So we interchange that. Okay, GPS 1, 3, 5. So you have a goal at the top, and you're going to figure out 3 priorities for that goal. Okay. So let's say the goal is to make. Maybe the goal is say your goal again.
Is to sorry.
That's okay.
To build passive income and lead to generational wealth.
Okay. So build passive income that leads to generational wealth. Now we're going to have to describe it a little more, right? So clarity is power, right? So what does that look like for you? What is passive income? How many properties?
Passive income, I would need I need to reach 11 doors. 11 doors. Average is about 1,800 per month income.
Averaging 1,800 per month income.
To around 15 to 20,000 passive income per month.
Okay. So the more clear you get about a goal, it's easier to hone in on it. In fact, I'm going to take a second to talk about, here I go on the sidebar. This is what's getting me in trouble. Okay. I'm going to talk about your RAS. Have you guys heard the conversation about your RAS and what that means? Who doesn't know what that means? Raise your hands. There's enough people to share it.
Reticular activation.
Yes, exactly. It's your reticular activating system. Okay. So the RAS is a small part of the brain, and Tony Robbins, you guys know who Tony Robbins is?
No.
Tony Robbins, no, I don't. Yeah, I bet you don't. If you want to Google him, he describes it really well, and he teaches on it. A lot of people teach on it, but Tony Robbins is one of my favorite to listen to. So the RAS is your reticular activating system. It's basically a small part of the brain, and it filters out what is most important to you. Okay. Now here's the thing. Your eyes and your brain is like a supercomputer. You're picking up literally thousands and thousands of points of reference right now. Like if you stare straight at me, your peripheral vision, you can see the blinds. You can see there's something on that wall, right? Without looking at it. Okay, your brain is picking up all of it. The lines on the carpet, everything. But our RAS is telling us what's most important, and that's what we register and think about. Okay? So I don't think about those blinds because they're not important to me. Right? They're not. But I do care about where I'm taking my next step, and that there's not a table in front of me. Like if I walk into this table, that's a problem, right? So my mind picks up the table. Well, here's the thing. With your RAS, you and I get to tell it what to think every day. And how do we do that, by the way? Do you guys know how we do that? We do this every day already. You already do this.
Automatic.
Yeah, but how? Where does it come from? Where does the automatic part come? You're right.
What we see,
Habits.
what we start focusing on.
What we focus on. So our habits, what we focus on, it's all about what we put our attention to, right? And who's the person you speak to the most all day?
Oh, what's up?
Yourself. What are your internal thoughts telling you? Oh man, it's a horrible market. Buyers are liars. Right? Okay. And if you say that stuff, you're actually making it a bigger part of your world because you're saying it. So you have to think about what's the conversation I'm having and what am I seeing? I'm going to give you some examples. So have you ever purchased something? This is what we always talk about with Raz, okay? Have you ever purchased a car? It's red. It's a BMW, whatever. And now you see red BMWs everywhere. Do you know that those red BMWs were always there, but your Raz filtered them out because it wasn't important information? They didn't just suddenly appear because you bought a BMW, okay? That doesn't happen. And this is the point. Have you ever bought those shoes and you're like, what? Everybody's got these shoes, so what's going on? Or the purse, and you're like, they must have saw my purse, and they're buying that purse, right? See what I'm saying? Those things just don't happen. What is really happening is you're telling your brain what to focus on now. That's why the Bolt Law says what you focus on expands. So if you want to focus on things that are productive and they're good for your life, you need to say them to yourself all the time. What are those called? Affirmations, right? And I love the word affirmation. When I think of the word affirmation, I'm forming something. The word formation is in it, right? I'm forming what I want to happen. Now, some people would say, oh, that's fluffy, that's all that kumbaya, rah-rah stuff. But it's real. What we focus on does expand. It wouldn't be a bold law, first of all, and there wouldn't be so much teaching around it. Think about it for a second. So let me ask you a question. If you wrote that goal down and if you read it every day before bed and when you woke up, say 10 times, just arbitrary, 10 times. You said, I want 11 doors, I want $1,800 a month, I'm gonna create wealth in my family, I'm creating generational wealth in my family, I said that, what else? A passive income to where I can live my biggest life, I can travel the world, I'm traveling the world with my wife and my kids, and I'm having the best time ever. And you said that to yourself 10 times every night and every morning when you woke up. Guess what would start to happen? Your subconscious mind literally starts seeking that stuff out. It literally starts seeking stuff out. That's like when you hear the news and they're talking about the elections, COVID, the market, the rates, whatever it is, you're telling your brain what you want to focus on. So be careful what you let in. Because you're going to have that internal conversation, whether you like it or not, it's happening. Right? Does that make sense? Yes. Okay. So, when we come to the 411, you've got to write down what you want to happen. So the GPS. So you're going to write at the top what your goal is on the GPS, and then you're going to put down 3 priorities. So let's talk about that. 3 priorities. What could those be? Let's say you want to sell 36 units this year. That's a great number, right? 36 units. How many is that a month? 3. How many is that a week? 1.25-ish, I think, right? Doesn't really work, right? So, but here's the thing. When you start to break things down, your mind sees that it's possible. If I said to you in the room, who wants to do 50 units this year? And is there anybody in the room would say, that sounds a little overwhelming for me? I think that's a lot. Okay? Thank you for being honest. Yeah. Okay? But if you broke that down and you said, that's just 4 a month, a little bit over 4 a month, it's just 1 a week. Can I focus on getting 1 a week? That's a little easier for the mind to grab hold of, right? So that's what the GPS is about. It's creating a path for you to get there. And it seems so simple. It does seem simple, and it is. But it's not easy. That's also a whole law. It's simple, not easy. Because the path is right there, but we just don't know how to get there. So you're going to want to come to that class because they're going to dive in deeper, which I can't do today, right? But definitely look out for that. It's coming soon, right?
So what we're gonna do is,
Yep.
we're gonna, like, this is gonna be the dumbest name you've ever heard. We're not gonna name it this because no one would attend it.
Yep.
But essentially it's gonna turn into like an accountability club. I know you wanna sign up already, but what we're gonna do.
Slow down with the excitement.
So what we're gonna do is like me, Alex, Tina, Bradley doesn't even know that we're doing this yet, but he's getting wrapped into it.
in Hawaii.
That's what he gets for going on vacation, is saying like, let's develop our 135s together, our GPSs together.
Yeah.
Let's develop those together, then let's do our 411, and then once a month, we're gonna check in with each other. And so like, Alex will say, here was my 411, here were my goals, and here's how it went. And then he's gonna show us how he's gonna pivot the next month to adjust with that. And then I'm gonna do it, and whoever's in there. And so it's a little bit more of like, let's see how it goes and hold each other accountable, for lack of a better word.
Yeah, no, I love it. And that's really what it boils down to, because the truth of the matter is, left to our own devices, what happens? We go to default. We go to default mode. If that's Netflix or TikTok or whatever we were talking about earlier, that's where you're gonna go, right? But when you have an accountability partner, or you have someone that's doing this with you, and there's a path, you're gonna get there quicker instead of feeling frustrated and getting out of the business.
Who's your accountability partner, Eli?
Me?
We stopped calling each other.
Jason didn't want to talk to me anymore.
I like went on vacation and then we never talked again.
I have others, but I miss Jason. I miss you.
Yeah.
All right, truth. People think there is never enough time to be successful, but there is when you time block. Here's the most powerful thing you're ever going to learn. Is there anybody in the room who does, like, okay, who in your office does the most volume? Units.
Well, those are different things.
Units, not
Let's
sales price.
say it's Hans. It's really
Okay.
close.
Okay, so
For individual agents.
okay, so let me ask you a question. So I want to reference, but I don't think, do they know? You guys all know who Ben Kinney is?
Yeah.
You guys all know Ben Kinney?
Or a
Okay.
lot of people do.
Okay, so Ben Kinney has multiple market centers, he owns them, he has huge teams, he has expansion teams, there's a ton of people working on in his group, like, I don't even know how many, a few thousand.
They've got to be, like, with how
3,000.
fast they've been growing,
Yeah.
they're doing thousands of units a year.
Okay.
Maybe close to 10,000.
Here's my point, so thousands of units a year, the Loken Group does, on scale to do 2,800 this year, units. Do these people I'm mentioning, or Hans, you said?
That's
That
Hans
man
back
right
there.
there.
Hans?
Hans Wave.
How you doing, sir?
Hi, Hans.
Hans, do you have more than 24 hours in your day? No. I'm just wondering, because he's doing more, right? And have you ever thought about this question? This is a real question, right? We all have the same amount of time. So the question is not about time, it's about what we do with the time we have. That's what this is all about. And restructuring that, you can do it. You just have to restructure the time. Some people think time blocking is restrictive. It's not, it's the opposite. It's freeing. And I need another 3 hours to explain all that, so I'm gonna have to stop right there. But just trust me when I say, and trust the material that's been proven, that you can do it. We all have the same 24 hours. How does one person make $1 million in income versus 50,000 in income? It's the choices they make every day. It's the things they do plug into or don't plug into every day. It's the conversations they're having internally every day. It's everything we're talking about, okay? We talked about stuff, we talked about that. The world doesn't know your purpose and priorities, and it's responsible for them. You are. The world doesn't know. In other words, your clients don't know, your team leader doesn't know. You have to make sure you prioritize the right way, okay? All right, let's move to the next section, from E to P.
The best one.
This is the best. All right. From E to P, who knows what that means? I know there's people in the room who know what that means. Tell me.
Entrepreneurial to purposeful.
Entrepreneurial to purposeful, right. So entrepreneurial is a term that refers to, does someone share with us something that gives you tons of energy, that you love doing? Name something. You love it. Yes? Huh? Working out. Awesome. Love it. Time passes fast when you're working out, right? What else? What's that? Singing? Singing? Yes! I love singing. I can sing all day. What else? Come on. Have you ever eating? Yes. So there are things in our life that we do naturally that when we're doing it, you look up at the clock and you go, I have to go now, or I can't believe that 4 hours just passed. Have anybody experienced this? Okay. Like for me, it's teaching, by the way. I have tons of energy around teaching. I could sit here and he'll give me 3 hours and I think I need 6 because I just want to talk and I want to do this, right? I get energy from it. It doesn't deplete my energy. It gives me energy, right? And we all have things like this. That's the entrepreneurial spirit. The challenge is if I don't stop to eat and I don't stop to rest, and I don't make sure I get to bed at a decent hour, I can't do this, right? That's where purposeful comes in. Where I use my time wisely, I eat the right things. He just fed me pasta, it's gonna make me tired. I don't know why he did that, okay? But he did. That was a bad move. I should have had the salad. That was my choice. That was my choice.
Purpose, not entrepreneur.
Exactly. So that's the difference. So we all have an entrepreneurial spirit, right? We want to create and build this business, and we know what we're going to do, and we're excited. And if we don't get purposeful, we'll hit a ceiling of achievement, which means you can only go so far in your natural ability. And this is true of everyone and everything. Ben Kinney had to create and bring people into his world to grow the big group he has now. He can't do that. There's only 24 hours in the day. We just talked about this. He cannot handle a few thousand people by himself, right? You cannot handle 36 units without some sort of system, or you're going to be sleeping at the office like me. Or maybe it's 80 units. We all have different capacities, right? For me, that year I did 80, I was at the office every day. Every day, 7 days a week. I got in around 6:30, 7 in the morning. I left around 10:30, 11 at night most days. Right? And you guys know how that ended. I told you in the beginning. So at some point, I have to create a system. So being purposeful is about creating systems, models, and tools, which KW, we teach all the time, right? So here's what we're got to do. So to move from E to P, do you guys get that? Does that make sense? Going from E to P? Going from your natural ability to systems, tools, and things that are working, that have worked, proven things that have worked for others. Okay? So, number one, we got to focus. Write your goals. Focus on the 20%. Okay? There's a reason. By the way, these are in a specific order on purpose. You start with the mindset of mastery. Then you start to determine what's the 80, what's the 20. And now we're going from E to P so we can see it clearly in our own life, right? So focus. Write your goals down. Focus on the 20% that you want to get done. Step 2, find strategic options. Ask the question, how can this be done? One thing that really frustrates me is when people come in with problems and no solutions, okay? I'm a solution-oriented guy, and I think we all should be. And this should be the case in our world with our kids, our spouses, our lives. Don't just come with a problem and complain. What's a possible solution? And you should have that internal conversation with yourself all the time. Man, name something that's negative right now in your world. Someone. Anyone. Can't get an offer accepted. Is that happening right here?
Yeah.
Can't find the right house.
Okay. What's the solution? Turn that thing around. What is the solution?
Instead of just focusing on MLS, go find it off market.
Right? So the solution perfect. The solution is, how do I find the house before it hits the market? That should be your focus. Not that I can't get an offer accepted, although that is a truth. That's not our focus. I'm not the kind of guy that says, oh, just ignore it, it doesn't exist. No, I understand it exists, but I'm not focused on it. I'm focused on the solution, right? How do I find the home? So every day that self-talk is, in the morning, I'm going to find homes today for my clients so I can get them in a contract off market. I'm going to find homes today for my clients so I can get them in contract off market. That's the conversation. Not, man, I can never get a buyer accepted because there's multiple offers. Can you see the difference? Huge difference, and yet we do it automatically by default. Right? We can do that in every aspect of our world. Number 3, look for models to follow. So that's where you attend trainings. You get in here, you get connected, you get a coach, you get a mentor. You blow up Jason and make him help you. Yes.
Yeah, you do.
Install systems. Time block. We just talked about time blocking. Scripts. Ooh, there's that. Scripts right there. Okay. Create checklists. We just talked about an 80-20 list, right, of what to do. Make sure the systems you install work consistently, efficiently. And that's where you got to kind of modify. Ask questions. Talk to the person next to you. Hey, I made this list. It's not working. What do you see? What do you think I can do? Collaborate with each other, right? Bring in accountability, which is measure what you do. Keep track of the 411. By the way, on the 411, when you guys teach that, the 411 is, in my opinion, is a very fluid document. So the 411 you should be looking at every day. You should be looking at your GPS every day and your 411. And when your 411, if something goes awry and you don't hit your goal, you should change the 411 to account for the change that you want. So if you want to close 48 units and you haven't closed enough to be on track to today, you should be adding them to the next one. Okay? And then at some point, you have to talk to your coach or your mentor and figure out, hey, was that the right goal for me? Let's talk this over, right? Maybe we have to shift some of the goals. But this should be a fluid document, so, okay? All right, that EDP I went kind of fast because I know I'm going to run out of time. And I want to honor your time. So what do you guys think? EDP, I need a few ahas, a few comments. Talk to me. Don't be shy. You're not shy.
I mean that was one of the point I made for this year was to participate more.
Yeah.
So for
love it.
example, from just not business, but in terms of I enjoy singing, but
Yeah.
I've never taken that step to actually learn how to do it properly. So I got myself a coach, and that's I guess part of movement.
Sweet, man. Love it. Thank you. That's great. So you got a coach. So in my opinion, everyone in this room should have a coach. We talked about what Michael Jordan and all the top players do. Don't get to the mindset of, I know enough, I don't need it, I'm good, I'm doing great. The fact that you're in this room tells me you don't think that way. You wouldn't be here. There are people that are not here because they thought, I don't need that. Right? We're always learning, so thank you. Anybody else? E to P, entrepreneurial to purposeful. It's about, it's about, I don't know how, it's kind of like you got to make these lists and you got to see them every day. And when you see them every day, just like my schedule, I kind of knew my schedule, but I never wrote out my schedule. So Coach made me do it on an Excel spreadsheet so I could see it, right? He's like, and he's all color-coded. Put green with stuff you're going to make money on and do this. He had me do some things, right? So what are you doing to help yourself see that stuff to go from E to P? Anybody else? Am I losing you because you just ate? I knew it! No, I'm just kidding. All right, let's go to the next thing, okay? All right, step 4. Make being learning-based the foundation of your action plan. So as we create a plan for your business, and there's tons of classes and courses here that help you create a business plan. There's a business planning clinic. There's a 401 GPS class. There is a Bold, which we do that in there as well. They all help you kind of create a plan, right? So if you go to enough of these courses, it's going to get into your DNA, and you're going to start to see it, start doing it, and then all of a sudden your business just starts doing this. Because who knows, I mean, who in here can agree that it's suddenly and then, what is it? No, what's that saying? You know the saying?
Oh, suddenly with.
It's something and then suddenly. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it just missed my mind. It basically says here, I'm just going to describe it. You're doing things like, for example, a farmer. Okay, I'm going to give you this example, a farmer.
Is it consistently then suddenly?
No, but you say it, I'll know it. Okay, so a farmer, right? Think about it. If you guys had who has anybody ever farmed or plotted a garden? Anything? Okay, good. When you plotted the garden, when what do? You turn the soil, right? Okay. You turn the soil. There's nothing there yet, and nothing's grown. You haven't planted anything, right? And then maybe you put some fertilizer into the dirt. You can do anything with the dirt, but then you plant the seeds, right? Okay. Does something grow the next day? No. Okay. Then what do you do next?
Water it.
You water it. Anything else?
Fertilize. A little fertilizer.
A little fertilizer here and there. Okay. And do you stop watering after the first day? No. Just like your business and your life, the farmer, the person planting, doesn't see anything for sometimes days, weeks, or even months. Okay? This is the same concept of what we're teaching you today. The things you need to do, it makes me sad when someone says, I tried that, and I say, how long? They say a week, and I say, not long enough, right? You have to give it some time, and you got to be consistent with things that have been proven to work. And these things we're teaching you have been proven to work. So you just got to be consistent. Consistency over time creates results, just like the farmer. So if you go farm a neighborhood, give it at least 12 months, in my opinion, before you might see one piece of business. Right? If you're going to do a social media campaign of some kind, you can't do it for a week and say, that didn't work. I get horrible leads from command. That doesn't work. You haven't tried it long enough, right? That's like this person planting in the garden and saying, I'm watering it for 2 or 3 days, I'm going to let it go, and I hope it bears fruit or veggies for me. That just doesn't work that way, right? Do you follow? Make sense? Okay. So learning-based is about creating this foundational action plan. And I want you guys to know and think about, what does it mean to be learning-based? What page are you on? 55, I think? Okay. I think you might have to write this in. On page 55, a learning-based individual is it there?
Yeah.
It's already there?
Yeah.
Okay. Is an individual who has made the decision to use effective learning as a foundational piece for their action plan to develop their life. You'll see it doesn't say business right there. You guys see that? It doesn't say business. Because just like I explained in the very beginning, if we don't take care of our life, our business is irrelevant. I've known quite a few people that had a great business and a horrible life. I was one of those people for a while. I really had it was bad. And it made me very sad. So this is what this is about, okay? So know for doing sake. I love this. So go to this page. It's still on 55, I think. So there's going to be things in your world where you don't really have the knowledge about those things. You haven't learned yet. And you're going to want to get to the point where you're learning based and you're going into productivity on purpose, right? Because sometimes we do things just arbitrarily. We'll listen to YouTube videos and do things, but we don't really do anything. We just hear it. Like today, we're teaching you guys some stuff. How many of you will get clear on your goal tonight? Like when you leave here tonight, thank you for raising your hand. You have a question, or are you just saying me? I love that. Thank you for. So you know, how many are going to get clear on your goal? And then define that and then figure out, thank you. And then your 80-20. How many are you going to work on that list tonight? You could leave here with the packet and say, that was a great class. That was a great class. And do nothing, and really you haven't moved the needle forward at all, right? So being learning based means that's the kind of person you are, right? You're going to constantly do this. And so this is really cool, okay? So initially, unconscious incompetence, right? Which means you don't even know that you don't know about that thing. Like, until you took this class, you probably didn't think about the 80-20 principle very much unless you'd heard it somewhere else. Didn't even know that was important, right? Can you guys name something in your world where you didn't, like you can think back where at first you didn't even know about it, and then you learned about something and you went, oh. Can you guys name something?
I always say TCs.
Yeah?
Like, you don't ever, like, as a child, right, or like in school, you never were like, oh, somebody's like, I'm gonna be a TC when I grew up. Like, did you even know that existed?
No, we
Like, I
didn't.
did not know that was this whole profession out there that even existed.
Yeah,
And now,
no, exactly.
like I tell people, I'm like, I think you'd be a really good TC, and they're like, what's that?
Yep, that's a great example, right? That's a great example. So what in your business, for example? So this was a career path, right, that she was talking about. Well, what about in your business? Like, who was really good at, who did virtual open houses on Zoom through Facebook Live during the pandemic? Did you even know you could do that? Some of you didn't know, though, at some point, right? You didn't even know it was a thing. I did a ton of them because I'm really not shy. I get in the front of the camera. So all I did was sit on Zoom on a live with pictures, videos, images, and the city of Elk Grove, so I could show the city map and the local things that were going on, events, and then I'd show the property and the bedrooms, and I'd just talk about it, just like I was sitting at an open house and you walked in for a tour. And I did it for 2 hours. Some people thought I was crazy. I'm like, when you go sit at an open house, how long are you there? 2, 3, 4 hours, depending on how you do it, right? No different. I'm just virtually showing the property, right? But there are people in my office that had no idea about that. Like, they didn't even know that they didn't know. Like, they had no clue, right? And then you get to the place where you're like, oh, now I know about the virtual open houses. Now I understand that I have something I need to learn, right? And then you get to the part where you go, okay, now I got it. I've done 1, I've done 2. Eli showed me, I have learned. And now, unconscious competence, you know what that is? It's automatic. What are some things in our life that are automatic right now? Driving. In fact, have you ever driven somewhere you're like, I don't remember getting here?
Yes.
Because you was just on autopilot. You're like, it's a little scary. You're on autopilot and you're like, whoa, I was thinking about something else or doing something. But your body, your mind, your muscle memory all knew what to do. So think about if you did this with your business. It was automatic, your listing presentation. It just came out of you. The scripts were so powerful. You met someone at Starbucks and you didn't even realize you just did a whole buyer consult on the line because you just knew it so well. And that's part of mastery, right? Once you start mastering stuff, sir, thank you. Have a good day.
Pleasure.
Thank you for coming out.
Okay.
Definitely. That's how you know you've reached that level. Do you see what I'm saying here? So this is being learning based. What does the non-learner say? We talked about it a little earlier. What do you think a non-learner says about learning? I don't need to learn. I know everything already. Right? I've already taken that class. Remember I said that earlier? I already took that class.
I don't have time.
I don't have time to go to that class. You don't have time not to go to that class. In fact, I have this one gentleman I'm trying to recruit from another office over there, and he says to me, Eli, how the heck do you guys get stuff done? You're always in classes. And you know what I told him? I go, I get all that stuff done because I'm always in classes learning how to get that stuff done. You didn't realize it. He goes, whoa. He's like, wait, that makes actual sense. That's right. I've learned to be more efficient, do it better than ever before, making me more, remember the time blocking and doing the 20% and that whole deal we just talked about? I learned all that by being learning based, getting more done. That's why the top people in our company attend family reunion and mega camp and bold and business planning. And don't you think there's something there? If they're attending all that stuff, don't you think the newer person or the person who's just trying to get to those goals should start doing the same things? There's got to be some proof. There's something there, right? That's what this is about, learning based. Check this out. Why don't you read this for me real quick, someone nice and loud.
Reach their goals by making training, education, and self-development the foundational piece of their action plan.
There it is. I just said that basically, right? High achievers. Some of the highest achievers do the most trainings. They're in the most trainings because they're constantly getting better and better, right? Okay, so let's go past this. Here's some curriculum that you could go through. We have the launch team. We have growth, achievement, we have tons of books. You should be reading these books over and over. I shared that earlier today. You guys recognize these books? Yeah? Yeah. You guys, honestly, if you want to really just take it to the next level, just read these books and then read them again and then read them again and then keep going, okay? Just keep doing it. I'm telling you right now. The one thing, if you haven't read this book, this is a really good one. So that same agent I was talking to you about a second ago, he said, how do you get anything done? You know what he did? I gave him the one thing book, right? About a month later, he calls me up and he goes, Eli, that book was crazy good. In fact, I started my one thing today. And I'm like, Scott, just come over. You need to join KW, man. He's like, no, hold on. Yes, I'm doing my one thing. I'm going to walk for 2 hours every morning now. And he started doing it. He had on social media, and he would post about, this is the one thing, my one thing, it's my health journey. And he just loved it. And every time I'd see him, he wanted to talk about the one thing. Right? And I'm like, you asked me the question, right? How do you guys get work done? Right here? Right? So be learning based, okay, guys? All right. Ahas about being learning based. I'm going a little quicker now so you can see. I think we got 30 minutes, 25 minutes. Any ahas? Let's see. Learning based. Tell me. What are you thinking? Did you learn something about you? What are you going to do to be more learning based?
Be more open-minded.
Open-minded. Okay, great. I'll tell you what. On the page where it says ahas, page 75. Should be on page 75. I'm going kind of fast. So my apologies. Page 75. Write down there. As we say these, I want you to say them out loud, like he just said. What did you say, sir?
Oh, be open-minded.
Be open-minded. Write that down. Page 75. What does page 75 look like? Perfect. Yeah, write it right there. Be more open-minded, right?
It's never too late to start learning that new skill set.
Yep. Okay, who else? Give me one, and then we're all going to write them down together. About being learning-based.
I think applying what you learn.
Applying what you learn. Love it. Applying what you learn. And then there was someone over here. Yes.
Attend as much as training possible.
What was it?
Attend as many as trainings or sessions.
Attend trainings and trainings and sessions as much as possible. Love it. What else? How can you become more learning based?
Read.
Read. Season 15 can wait. Okay, season 15 on Supernatural or I don't know whatever he's watching right now. But yes.
Instead of asking questions, being curious.
Come from curiosity. Ask questions. Love that. ask questions to each other. You'll be surprised, again, that we're going through the similar things. We're having the similar challenges, right? So this is a good thing. I love it. You guys can write down more there if you'd like as well. I'm going to get going to the next piece. Oh, this is one of my favorites. Darn it, we only have 3 more hours to go. All right, limiting beliefs. Limiting beliefs. All right.
Also known as paradigms, right?
What's that?
Also known as paradigms, limiting beliefs.
Yeah.
Paradigms.
Yes, correct. Isn't that crazy? I mean, have you guys ever thought about what he's talking about is a paradigm shift, right? Is we have a belief about something. We believe that belief is true,
Yeah.
and yet it's not always true, right? And being such a professional and going to mastery and doing all these things, start to be open to the concept of there's not just one way to do a listing presentation. As a matter of fact, I often, when I teach in classes at my own market center or have people teach, I tell the group, I say, hey, listen to me, this is important. If you don't agree with the speaker is saying, I still want you to listen and don't disagree openly, because that's not what this is about. This is that person's style and this person's approach. If you like it and you agree with it, do it. If you don't, learn something from it, right? Because I guarantee that if we all sat down and did a listing presentation, one after the other, I'd have 10 different listing presentations. One of you would start with their why, one of you wouldn't. One would start with comps. Another would not even have a packet. Someone else would have a packet in a binder. We all do it different, and yet we're all producing, and that's the key, right? That's the key point to this. It's like high achievers remove beliefs and they paradigm shift. They think about things in a different way. They don't just think that their way is the only way and the right way. Never. I'm learning all the time. In fact, when I teach, I learn, because you all say something, I go, whoa, I hadn't thought of it that way. And I'm learning 26 years, it doesn't matter. I'm still open to learning, right? So high achievers remove beliefs from their thinking that hold them back. So these are like negative thoughts, right? So give me a limiting belief about your business. Who wants to double their business in 2022? Raise your hand. Anybody? Okay. I love it. Tell me, what's going to hold you back from that? What do you think is going to hold you back right now? What's the first thing that comes to your mind?
Oh, I haven't done it before.
You haven't done it before. That's a big one. What else?
I'm not experienced enough.
I'm not experienced enough. Okay. What else? One more. Don't be shy.
There are other top agents dominating the market.
They're dominating the market. Yep. These are limiting beliefs, right? How can we flip those into unlimiting beliefs?
I recently learned one of the ways to do it
Yep.
is to write down every negative belief or paradigms that you have on a list, on a
Yep.
piece of paper,
Yep.
and then and write the opposite in
Yes.
positive I am affirmation.
I love
And
I am
then-
affirmations.
Throw the other one, burn it or whatever, then take it out of your mind.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. I love that. So let's write one down. I'm not experienced enough is the limiting belief. And the belief, the unlimiting belief is I am learning and growing every day to grow my business in a big way.
Yeah.
I am learning and growing every day. I'm attracting so many buyers and sellers that I need to hire people to help me. I'm attracting so many buyers and sellers that I need to hire people to help me. Man, there's the limiting belief might be I'm just not really good at a listing presentation. The unlimiting belief is every day I'm practicing, I'm honing my skills, I am mastering my listing presentation. It's it's funny because it's such a small shift, but it's so powerful, right?
Another way is writing it every single day and
Yes.
seeking it same way.
Yep.
Writing is more important because then you're engaging
Yep.
your everything.
Yep, I love it. It's just getting that into your mind every day, right? Like just we were talking about the 4-1, the GPS every day, the affirmations every day. This should be part of your daily routine. And this is true of every part of our life, not just our business. It could be true of any part of our life, right? Did you have a question? No, okay. All right. So let me ask you guys all a question. So who in here had something that they had a limiting belief about and overcame it? Yes, sir.
Could it be about personal or just?
Yep. Anything you like.
I'm too old to start taking singing lessons.
You're too old to take singing lessons. And what ended up happening?
I ended up getting a coach.
There you go. There you go. I love it. Thank you. Did you have one too?
I didn't think I was going to get my real estate license. It took me how long to get it.
And then you did it.
But I passed, so now I feel like I can do anything.
Right? So let me ask you both something. That moment when you felt like giving up or, it's not going to happen. I don't think I can do it. Because we all think that way, right? If we're being honest, we think to ourselves like, I can't hire someone. It's not going to work. Right? What made you push through to get the lessons and to take the actual exam and do it? What happened? Did you talk to someone? Did you think something? Did you read something? What happened?
My purpose, what I want to do in life, it requires me to get my license and my kids.
So you focused on your why, sounds like. Yeah. You were focused on the reason that was much bigger than the fear you were having. Anthony Robbins talks about we either running from fear or to pleasure at all times in our life. So you had fear initially, but then the pleasure and the purpose of why you're doing it was bigger, and you focused on it, and then you did it.
That's exactly what it was.
Right? Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
Isn't that cool? What about you, sir?
I reviewed the 8 equities of life.
Yeah?
And in the One Thing book, they have something similar where, like, what makes me happy now, no matter whether I have money now or not. If money was an issue, what would make me happy now?
Yeah.
It's pretty much sports, basketball, spending time with family, learning how to sing. And I'm like, you know what? If it makes me happy now, then I should just do it.
Do it.
Money is just an expansion of it.
That's right. Love it. You guys see that? You guys see what's happening? We all have that little doubt in our head. It's the limiting belief. Like, I love when people say, I cannot cold call Eli. I can't. And I'm thinking, no, you probably could. Let me ask you a question. So, you ready? Let's see. Does anybody want to do this with me? Let's see. I need a volunteer. I need a volunteer. No, not you. You've been doing too much. I want someone else who hasn't volunteered yet. Come on, don't be shy.
Ricardo.
Ricardo. All right. How you doing, Ricardo? Eli Galindo. Good to meet you. So, Ricardo, do you like cold calls?
They're okay.
Yeah, they're tough, right? Most people, I want to say almost all of us, including me, I don't like cold calls, okay? So here's the question, okay? If I told you today, if you cold call 50 people, I'll give you $1 million, would you do it?
Yeah.
What changed? Wait, I thought you don't want to do this stuff. What happened?
I call it 100 if you would give me $1 million.
The motivation changed, right? That's it. It's the same 50 calls that he was going to make. Nothing changed, right? When we do that to ourselves, it's like we can empower ourselves to do almost anything if we choose the right motivation to do it. That's the example, right? It's kind of like, have you ever heard stories of people where there's a loved one under a vehicle and they lift the vehicle up? Okay, those really do happen. In that moment, the adrenaline and the power of how they feel causes them to have enough strength to do that. They really don't. I mean, normally we wouldn't. Why wouldn't we? We don't believe we can. In that moment, there is no question about it. I will protect my son, right? The 4-minute mile. Who's heard this story? The 4-minute mile. I don't know when it was, years ago, when the 4-minute mile was broken. But before the 4-minute mile was broken, okay, there was I forget his name. Gosh darn it. I should know the story by heart, and I don't. Bannister. Thank you. Yep. No one had ever run a 4-minute mile. They couldn't break the 4-minute barrier. The belief was it's just not possible. No one's done it. It's not possible. And then one day this guy, he decides, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get really good at the quarter mile. I'm going to get fast at the quarter mile. Because all it is 4/4 of a mile, right? He broke it down to a 4-1-1. Hello? He didn't even know he was doing it, okay? He broke it down to a 4-1. He said, I'm gonna do the quarter mile really fast. I just have to do it in a quarter of a minute. I mean, in 1 minute. I gotta do quarter of a mile in 1 minute. So his focus was that, not the whole mile, just the quarter mile. The story I wanna tell you though is much broader. Once he broke it, who knows how soon others broke it?
Within a year? Or months?
Less than a year.
Months.
6 months.
There's a few months, like 3 or 4 months, right? Okay, check this out.
And
How come nobody did it before? And now he did it, and guess what happened to their belief system?
It's possible.
It's possible. That's all that has to change in your world. So when you say you want to double your business, you have to start believing it's possible. You start believing it's possible. If you want to make those cold calls, you got to find the right motivation to make those cold calls. Or maybe you're doing social media or video. People say, I can't do a video, I'm just embarrassed and I never look good, I gotta do my makeup, it's not working. This is literally what happens, okay?
But I don't need a makeup.
That's true, you're good, you don't need any makeup. You see what I'm saying though? You gotta change those things, and then what's gonna happen is the whole thing's gonna shift. So, all right. Any ahas on limiting belief? Hey, I'm almost done. Oh my God, getting there. I know. I don't have a limiting belief. I can finish on time. I will finish on time. Okay, so let's do a quick aha on this one, on limiting beliefs, because I think that was a powerful one. What do you guys think? What if I said to you, right? I did the $1 million with, what was it? Ricardo. Okay, I did the $1 million with Ricardo. So what if I said to you, let's see, what's a good amount of money to make gross commission earned in this area?
Like averages 25-ish.
25 units?
Oh.
1,000?
Oh, gross.
Gross.
Per unit.
Oh, 20,000 per unit?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so 10 units is 250.
10 units is huge here.
Is it?
Yes.
Okay,
Like you're in the top.
so is it a limiting belief to do more than 10 in this area?
Yes.
Do you think there's a limiting belief around the area? Okay,
Yeah.
so let me ask you a question. I know there's differences in markets, et cetera, okay? But what if I told you that in our area, 10 is like, right, not a big deal. I'm gonna tell you why. Okay, it is a big deal in that the average is 4 in the most MLSs. The average agent closes 4. But it's a funny thing. When the dollar amount of commission per transaction is lower, for some reason there's more motivation to close more of them. Right? You guys get this? Our average commission is like 12 to 14 grand. Okay? In our area. Yours is 25.
Double,
Double. Okay? I want you to start thinking about just units, because units, here's why I like to focus on units instead of volume. We start with volume because that funds the life we want, but the units, here's the deal. If I close 12 units, or excuse me, if you close 12 units and I close 24 units, I've done more work, right? Now we earn about the same amount of money. You do 12, I do 24. What is holding you back from doing 24? I want you to answer me. I can do 24. Why can't you do 24? And by the way, I have agents that are 2 years in the business doing 24. So don't say it's because you have 20 years of experience, Eli. It's just not true.
Since first year, he did 26.
Okay? So what's stopping everyone, and I'm not just talking about people in the room, in this market, from thinking 24 is possible? Should be like totally possible. I would love to hear from you guys. What do you think it is? Let's be real and just transparent right now.
Agents only average 3 to 5 times a year.
But why?
Oh,
Why
that's
don't they
the limited beliefs.
Because that's a belief, right? Is what you're saying,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
Inventory is low.
What-
compared to
what's that?
Rosary area. The amount of homes on the market to sell.
Oh.
Whatever.
Okay, and let's state for a second that's true, which I don't think it's true. Okay, so here's the thing. I'm gonna blow your mind right now about inventory. You ready? So if you look at the statistics, we have sold more homes this year than any year before. So is inventory low, or are there just more buyers?
Just selling faster.
Selling faster and more buyers. Inventory is not low. I think the correct statement is available inventory is low. Available. But see, there's still the same amount of, actually more houses are being sold.
Yeah, more
Which
houses.
means your business should be higher, right? If more houses are being sold, your business should be higher. Does that register? And if you look at the statistics in your area, I would love for someone to pull up the last 6 months of sales and then go back 6 years and pull up 6 months of sales and see how many closed in those same periods in the same area to see if it's true, because there's micro markets where it's not true.
It's grown. No, it's
Okay, so it's grown,
Yeah, like,
which means
we're up by like 200% if you go back 6 years.
so the inventory overall is higher. But the thought process is inventory is low because there's not as many on the market available, right?
At a time,
It's different. That means there's a ton of pending. There's a ton of pending.
yeah.
And why aren't you guys having 2 or 3 pendings every month? Since there's a ton of pending. See the difference in the shift in your mindset that has to happen? It's like they're there. Why aren't we capturing them? We should be. See the limiting belief there? Because it's true. What you just said, I've heard over there tons of times. Same conversation. The inventory's low. I'm like, is it
And
though?
just so you know, every person, almost every person in our office has that. I've heard that.
I've heard it
million
over and
times
over.
in this office.
You're in the majority
Yeah.
thinking that, right? You're in the majority, but it's just not true. Statistically, I could pull all the data and show it to you guys if we have time. We don't have time. But I could, or you could just do it on your own and you'll see what I'm talking about. So then the question then becomes, what's the unlimiting belief question then? That you have to ask yourself. What do I need to do to get those pendings? What do I need to do to get that inventory?
Go for listings.
Create inventory, right? Yes, go find the sellers. Do a CMA every single day. If you're not doing a CMA for somebody every single day, you're missing it. Every day. There's no reason. It's so easy. It takes, 30 minutes, maybe an hour if you're newer to it. Every person in your data bank, in your command, should have a CMA from you at least once every 2 quarters. The market shifts in every 2 quarters, like pretty big. Significant enough to say, hey, your house went up 15 grand since June, and we're in November. Just wanted you to know. I'm not looking to sell. No, I know. I'm just letting you know so you know it went up. I don't want Zillow to tell him, Realtor.com. I want to tell him because if he thinks about selling, I want him to think about me, right? So that's something, if you don't have enough business, you should be doing every day. In fact, I'd encourage you to do 3 to 5 a day. It's not that hard. And if you want, you can print them and hand deliver them if the houses are closed. And if they're not, you can just send them via email, right? Just keep sending them. I go, hey, part of my thing is, I know, Alex, I know you're not thinking about selling, but I was looking at the data, man, your house has gone up 20 grand since the last time we spoke. Just wanted you to know. That's it. Cool, thanks, Eli.
Because then you're helping them know their wealth.
Yep,
You're helping them know.
yep. That's it. Got it?
I think one other thing
Yep.
of why is also, I think, because like you go to Alabama, we just had a commission check coming from Alabama, or it was a referral, and it was like a 40% referral or something really high, and it was like $210.
Yeah.
Like, can you imagine?
How many units you have to
selling
do?
a house? How many units you have to do to sell a house in Alabama when the average house price is like $27,000? Like, I don't know why you would be a realtor.
And yet realtors do it all the time. That's where they live and that's where they do
Yeah.
it, right?
But their average, like,
Yeah.
it's not uncommon, most agents will do like 30-something units a year because they have to go eat.
Yeah.
Right, and I think it goes back to your motivation that you did with Ricardo.
Yeah.
Like, the motivation, you only need to do 4 houses here
Right.
to make 100,000.
Right, so you get stuck in that mindset of just doing 4, 5, or
Yeah.
6. I would love to hear them share with me in 6 months from now that we have all kinds of people doing double digits over here. Talk about the wealth you'd create with your price point. Think about it. Talk about what we're talking about with Alex and what he wants to do with his family. And I imagine all of you feel similar to him. We all want to have passive income and help our family build wealth, don't we? I mean, I don't know anybody who doesn't want that. And here's the thing, going from 12 units to 24 units, it's not that hard. It's not, it's systematic, it's consistency, it's purposeful, it's all the things. See, what we're teaching today is how to go from 6 to 12, 12 to 24, 24 to 48, 48 to 116. That's what we're teaching today. This is the system. And it's all a mindset thing, because once you approach it that way, it's gonna all start coming to you. As you learn and you're learning based, you're gonna get all that, okay? The final one, because we're almost out of time, is to be accountable. Are you a victim or are you accountable? Are you a victim or are you accountable? So someone go to that page, because I cannot read that screen, and read me all the stuff on the victim side. And who's gonna do it first? Raise your hand. Who's gonna read it for me nice and loud? Okay, Alex, you're a winner. Okay, but before he reads that, I want you to do me a favor. As he reads it out loud, I want, good. Yeah. Okay, as he reads it out loud, I want you to think to yourself, am I this? Am I doing this? Okay, go ahead.
Ignorance, asks no questions. 1, doesn't seek reality.
Keep going, all the way down.
Denial, that's not the way it is.
It's hard to read, huh?
That's not how I see it. That's your perception. Number 2, that's fights reality. Projection, if everybody would do their job, it's not my fault, it's yours. The market is to blame. The economy is to blame. Why didn't you do something? 3, blames. 4, personal excuses, deflection. Nobody told me or sold me. It's not my job. I did my part. I was never given a chance. It doesn't work here. I did what I was supposed to do. It didn't work. I can't think of anything else to do. 5, waits and hopes. Resignation. If it was meant to be, it will happen. Let's just wait and see. We've done all we could. Let's just wait and see. Time will tell. It's out of my hands. The proof will be in the pudding. Victim equals status quo.
All right, so check it out. I want you to think back to the last 7 days. How many times have you said one of these statements? You don't have to tell me, just think about it. Right? Victim mentality versus the other side is accountable. So who's gonna read accountable for me nice and loud? Someone else. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Number 1, seeks reality. Awareness. What is the situation? Number 2, acknowledges reality. Clarity. This is the way it is. Got it. I'll see what's going on. 3, owns it. Energy and focus. If it's to be, it's up to me. What do I want? I've got to do something. This is my responsibility. 4, find solutions, possibilities. What are my options? How can I get what I need? How can I get what I want? What can I do? Number 5, gets on with it. Action plan. Let's get started. Time's up. Let's go. This is what I will do.
It's hard to read.
I was never given a chance. No, that can't be right.
Yeah, that's right. I'll explain that. Go ahead.
Okay.
I'll explain that in a second.
Okay, let's do it. Let's get on with it. Accountable equals change.
Okay, so I was never given a chance, just because that is a weird one, right? It's more about like you're fighting for the opportunity to do something. That's what that's really referencing, even though the wording's kind of weird. It almost sounds negative, right? Yeah, it's more about like, get out of my way, I want to turn. Like, I want to sit in front of that seller, I'm going to do it. Man, how do you get in that one? I'm going to get in the next one. That's what that sentence is about. That you're going for it, you're fighting for it, right? So I want you guys to think about these 2 sets of statements, and are you more on the accountable side, where you own it, where you go after it, you realize what's you seek reality, but you're looking for solutions, or are you looking at all the problems, and you're looking at, well, it's the market's fault. They didn't really give me a chance, and they weren't fair to me, and that's just the way it goes. That's the way it happens. I'm sorry. Or do you create your own destiny? Do you figure out a way to create what you want in your world with affirmations and daily habits that are going to create wealth for you and your family, because you're going to build your business on a foundation, right? This is the difference between these 2 sides. Are you guys seeing that? Victim mentality versus accountability mentality. Accountable is, I own it. I'm going to create my destiny. I can do it. I can close 24 units. It's totally possible. So when you're in a room with realtors, if you ever go to like an association meeting or something, or a mixer, and they're like, yeah, 12 units, or somehow it comes up where the market inventory, right? We're talking about that. That happens a lot, by the way, a lot. The inventory, the loan programs are no good. Back in the day, it was, we got to short sell everything. Oh, they're bank repos. Everything's a bank repo. They're not going to fix it. What conversations are you having with those people? What are you saying to them? Right? You create that conversation. So this is a breakdown of that. Do you seek reality? Do you acknowledge reality? Do you own it? Do you find solutions? Do you get on with it? That's basically what I was just sharing, right? All right. Before we wrap up, accountability has two parts. Thank you for coming. Have a good day. Has two parts. Number one is recognizing what we're telling ourselves. But number two is, who are we being held accountable to or with? If you don't have an accountability partner or you don't have a coach, you need an accountability partner. I would say find someone in the market center that you jive with, that bring this packet with you till you get dial it in, right? And just start to hold each other accountable. When they do the 411 GPS class, do that and make sure you have a 411 and a GPS and you're looking at it daily and you're saying, hey, how's your 411 coming along? Are you hitting your goals? What could I help you with? And then reverse it. You're going to ask me the same questions. Like, oh man, I'm not hitting something happens when we verbalize our goals, whether we hit them or not, right? And if you don't hit them, you kind of feel it like, ooh, yeah, I'm kind of been on Netflix more than now lately than before. And you got to be honest. And if you really want to grow, it's about transparency and this accountability that we're talking about. So, man, time flies. All right. Don't want to touch any of this. I'll talk about this and then we'll do ahas and we'll wrap up, okay? Because I almost made it. I'm pretty close. Okay, career growth initiative. So this is like the path, right? This is appointments to listings to closings to profit, okay? Let me ask you a question. So who is using Command at a high level in the room? Anybody? Okay. Okay, I wish I had time because I'd pull up Command and show you some super cool things that Command does. But one of the things Command does is you can set your goals for 2022 in Command. And then you can track whether you're going to hit those goals by clicking if it's a lead or not a lead. And then when you have an appointment, it tracks everything for you. So you know if you're on task to hit your goal. And it's literally, there's graphs, it's beautiful. You got to put all the data in, right? I want to earn this much money. This is my conversion rate. This is how many buyers versus sellers I work with. You put in some data, which they can go over with you guys. And then once you do that, you can track it. And now KW is coming out with I love that, did you see the new Command-facing app for us to have access to Command on our cell phones, which is going to be super cool. So Kelly has been, you know what Kelly is? Who knows what Kelly is? Okay, that's the app that we have. That's being sunset or has been sunset already?
Not yet,
it's about to be, yeah. And so you're about to have this other app. I'm telling you right now, we talked about it earlier. If you don't see it in front of you, if you don't read it every day, it's not real. It's not real in your life. You're thinking about it's kind of in the background, right? You got to tell your RAS what to focus on. You remember the RAS? Tell your RAS what to focus on, which means you have to have these goals set. So if appointments is the most important thing, how many calls do you have to make to get those appointments? Right? How many calls? 50, 100, 200 a week, a month, a year? What is it? If we don't know these things, how can you know the path to get to your goal, right? And the reason I'm bringing this up is I want to encourage you guys, who has listened to Marty Miller's 66-Day Challenge on YouTube? Okay, write this down. Write this down. Okay? Marty Miller is his name. You're going to go to YouTube, you're going to search this. Marty Miller.
What do you spell Marty?
M-A-R-T-Y.
T-Y.
Miller, 66-Day Challenge. And listen to 4.0 or 5.0. Don't do any of the, he has he's been doing this for a few years, so he has the old version, and now you're at 4.0 and above now. And they're short videos of like 5 minutes to 10 minutes-ish, and they're teaching you pieces of Command over 66 days. Who's got 10 minutes to spend listening to, watching this and learning? And you're gonna learn Command really fast. Command has so many powerful tools that it's mind-blowing what we can do now with ads, with our smart plans to our database. I have a whole class I teach on database too, called Creating and Crushing Your Data Bank, which we might be able to do at some point in the future, if you guys wanted. But the whole point is if you're not utilizing the technology that's at your fingertips, and it's a technology that other brokerages charge for. And we charge very little for it, if anything, right? I mean, the amount of you have transaction management, it's marketing, it's smart plans like, what's it called? Monkey, the email. Mailchimp, oh my God, I said it wrong, monkey mind. Mailchimp, and text, and all kinds of cool things. Do you guys, who's done a landing page? You've done a landing page?
A long time ago.
Most of us have landing pages.
So you can
They
do.
might not realize they do, but we.
Yeah, so you can do a landing page every day for a new listing.
Yes. I do
And
for
post
open
it.
houses.
Yes.
Yeah, and I
Yep.
create them on
Yep.
like stands with a QR code.
Yep,
So if they want information, it actually
Yep.
helps me generate the lead and feeds it into command.
yep. So when someone goes to your landing page and they put their name and email and a phone number, it goes straight to your database and you're notified. Okay, and the landing page, I could literally create a landing page in 5 minutes because I know how to do it that good now, like 5 minutes of my day. And if you go to my social media, which I mentioned earlier, if you guys want to find me on social media, I'll give you a card before I go. Here's the thing, you're gonna see that I have a landing page almost every day on my page. And that's that assistant I was talking about who's posting it earlier, that I pay $600 a month to. Find someone who would do, now over here, your sales price is, your commission is 25 grand, it's probably not 600 a month here, right? Cost of living, it's different. Over there, it's 600 a month for me to have her do that. But I still have to create the landing page and send it to her and she posts it. You follow? And see, these are all lead generation tools you can use every day, but you've got to put them into place. So, all right, any ahas? I mean, we need some ahas before we go. We're done. We're done. Ahas, you can see the steps are there. Which was your favorite step and why? That would be a great aha. Talk to me. We'll add 2 or 3 before we go.
Evelina, you're up.
Don't be shy.
I mean, it's a lot.
What was your favorite?
Learning based and moving your limits with belief. That's key.
Limiting belief, huh?
Yeah.
That's a big one. Definitely one of the biggest ones. Thank you. Yeah. Who else?
Sangeeta.
Limiting belief.
Limiting belief? Yeah, that's a big one for us, all of us.
Yeah.
I have limiting beliefs I'm fighting against all the time too. We all do. We all do. Who else? One more.
I like 3 and 6, the purposeful and being accountable.
Mm.
Yeah, so I wanna focus more on how to track those numbers down and making time.
Yeah,
Making time
Yeah.
for what matters.
that's right.
That is actually interlinked everything.
Yeah, isn't it weird how it's all connected together,
Right.
right? So, well, thank you guys so much for being here today. Thank you for engaging and being part of the class instead of, I really appreciate that very much. And I hope you learned and I made you laugh and I gave you things to think about. And until next time, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
Oh, if you want my
your
card,
business card.
I got my card right here. Yeah.
And really quick,
Thank you,
guys,
sir.
I'm gonna be a little vulnerable
Thank you.
with you for a minute regarding this.
Yep.
And the 411. So, Jason and I have been working hard to make this office a better place for you, but we realized that we have so many ideas that we want done now. A lot of stuff ends up happening, but not all the way, right? And so Jason and I, we kind of realized this, we had a meeting with Steve and there's a bunch of things that brought it about, but we realized we weren't doing a great job in helping you guys. And so I really hope that you guys can come to the team meeting tomorrow because we are launching, we've been telling some of you for a while that it's coming, but a website that is going to centralize everything. It's just for us. And because of a 411. And part of Steve's class too, he asked what was the one thing that would make our lives easier. And my thing was having a place to send you guys to go for information because information is scattered everywhere, right? And so we have some exciting, the raffle is tomorrow, so that's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then, and you get points for being here today with Eli. And I'll submit those for you since we're close to being done. And then we're gonna be launching the website, and so if you guys can make sure to come to the team meeting tomorrow, it'd be awesome.
Sweet. Definitely plug in. When you guys plug in, you actually make your office stronger. So plugging in is a big deal. It also improves your business. There's a lot of ways, so I want to encourage you to do that.
This group
It's your core.
is
It's
a
your core.
freaking.
Invite a friend. Invite a friend. Yes. Have a good one, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes. Yeah. I'm in Elk Grove, which is South Sacramento. So the opposite side. I do have an agent or two that work in that area. Yeah.
Because I have a client, but I need help in showing because
Yeah.
yesterday I showed a property that I paid for it just 23 days.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know.
It was, and I wanted to schedule the tour and.
Yeah. Yeah, I can connect you with, you can text me and I'll text you back some contacts.
Okay,
I have at least 2 I can send you
okay.
that could show property.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And then I can work with like.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly, yeah.
Come on.
Sorry, just want to say thank you
You're
very
welcome.
much.
Thank you.
It's very energizing, it's powerful, and I kept thinking about the law of attraction and all
Yes.
the kind of videos that
Yep.
what you think. But it's so timely because 2022 is right around the corner.
Yes, it
The
is.
way we
Like,
do it.
it's coming so fast.
And like I feel like sleeping, but
Yeah, yeah,
lastly, what's your
Until I
favorite
finish.
song you like to sing in the karaoke?
Hotel California.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I love it. I love karaoke.
Listen.
If you guys have a karaoke party, you better invite me. I'll drive down.
I have everything on Kindle.
Thanks for coming.
so much.
My pleasure, my pleasure.
And,
Hey,
I have,
how's it going? Come on, don't say that. It's a little bit. I catch myself sometimes saying that in my mind, and then I say, what am I saying?
Yeah, shoot me a text, make sure I'm available. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah,
Great.
you have my number.
I do. Thank you so much.
Thank you for sharing that with me.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, thank you, Eli. Have a good one, sir. Good to meet you.
All right, you too.
Oh, that's for you, sir.
William.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This is my card.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
So Maria, let's talk about.
Rui, thank you for the salad.
Of course.
What made you want to start teaching?
I've been teaching for a while. I think I learned that from watching my dad preach.
Just killing it here.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. I think that's kind of where it was born, right?
Thanks, Sinky, for coming. Bye.
I think that's where it happened. And then, yeah, when I had my own brokerage, I was kind of the teacher and the coach and the trainer. It was just me and two partners, one of which was silent. So it was really me and the other guy doing all the work. Yeah, so I just slowly started doing it.
Oh, it was great.
Thanks, man. I'm gonna run to the bathroom. I'll be right back.
Yeah, the K.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I want to be better at
Teaching.
having engagement, teaching, running, like even running committees. Because I hate,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, I don't like speaking like groups, but I want to be better at it or have more engagements. I don't want to just be up there talking.
Yeah. I think, yeah, it's kind of how you come at it too, right?
Yeah.
And I think, like sometimes when I do the classes with those smaller classes, like the setting, it's fine to be up front and stuff, but I'll actually I just sit with them,
Right.
right? And like kind of make it more, just like you're doing, you are teaching when you're talking, right?
Yeah. How's your day going?
Good. It's been a kind of a rougher week because we lost, had help. So we lost 2 cameras.
Oh, where'd she go?
She went to a team
Oh.
with EXP in Sacramento. So, yeah, it was, it was a rough week. And then, yeah, we lost 2 cameras. So, yeah, it's been a, it's been a, kind of a rougher week. So we lost, had help. So we lost 2 cameras. So, yeah, it was, it was rough. So, yeah, we lost 2 cameras. So we lost 2 cameras. So, yeah, it was, it was rough. So we lost 2 cameras. 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 So we lost
don't think we paused the recording, have we?
What?
The
Oh,
recording?
yeah.
How do you do that? Yeah, man, so, sorry, I had a.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah, that's, I love to give back. I love to help people. So that was part of it.